In today's video, I'm going to be getting into the December balance changes. Remember, they are work in progress, so be sure to leave your feedback in the comments below and on social media where there's a chance Clash Royale might see it and make some adjustments. I'll also go over the merge tactics balance changes as well briefly at the end of this video. So starting off, guys, we got the Barbarian barrel, which is going to be getting 2 nerfs. The first nerf, guys, is a damage nerf. It's going from 240 to 230, a 4% damage nerf. Now, I don't think this is going to change a lot of interactions. I think they intentionally made it only 4% for this exact reason, to make sure it's still able to kill things like goblins, and probably a lot of other interactions stay the same. Some of the baity cards, that's probably why they intentionally did it 4%. They said Barbarian Barrel has been rolling in a bit too much value lately. Ha ha ha, rolling in. I think we got the joke there. Becoming the most versatile spell in the game. Not wrong, it did surpass Log, so instead of buffing Log back to being a little better, they decided to nerf the Bar Barrel because they feel like the Log, I guess, the strength for it is fine, but the Bar Barrel's too strong. So they also gave a second nerf, guys, to the deploy time. So I'm a little confused by this, but basically it's going from 500 to 1,000. It's a 100% nerf to the deploy time. So increasing the deploy time is going to make it less effective at clearing mid hit point units. So that's going to be, I guess, mid hit points are things, I guess, like Musketeer, Electro Wizard, things like that. So it takes longer to deploy. Maybe when the barrel breaks, the barb takes twice the time to basically start attacking. That might be what it is. The Evolved Ghost is getting a nerf. No surprise here. I think everyone expected this. So they're nerfing the soldier damage. It's going from 130 to 102. A 22% reduction, which is a pretty big nerf. They're reducing the soldier spawn and attack damage to align and make it more on par with other evolutions, I suppose, because they know it's the strongest evolution in the game without a doubt, which is why they had to give it another nerf. And it's also getting a second nerf, guys, because they're going to be nerfing the soldier spawn damage as well. So that's going from 261 to 204. Again, a 22% reduction. So the spawn damage, 22%, as well as the damage itself reduced by 22%. Now, what I don't understand is why didn't they just remove the spawn damage altogether? That should have probably been the first nerf, but the additional reduction to the Evo Ghost spawn hit, they're hoping these two will be enough to balance it out, which likely I think it will. These are 2 big nerfs, so I approve of the changes overall. And the Electro Spirit, guys, this might be one that's a little surprising to some players, but a lot of people have known how good it's been recently, especially in Royal Giant and Expo decks. Even Hog, it's usually very good. They're going to be nerfing the chain time. So it's going from 0.2 to 0.25, a 25% increase in the chain time. So basically, the chain time is getting increased to reduce stun chain pressure. This is going to be most noticeable when there's a bunch of swarms. So maybe if there's a lot of bats, or if you're defending a graveyard with the Electro Spirit, where it chains on a lot of things. That's where you're going to notice it. So this is kind of debatable how much it's going to change things. It's probably going to be only in a very select few matchups where you'll notice it being a big nerf. The Evolved Baby Dragon, guys, is also going to be getting a nerf. I think I'm okay with this. It has been one of the strongest evolutions even after they made it 2 cycles. So they're making it have 20% less speed up mechanic. So this is going to nerf only the ally speed up, which is your cards. It's not going to be nerfing the slowdown it has against enemy units, just your ally speed up. And they say it can overwhelm during big pushes, so they want to reduce the boost effect that it has for the speed up mechanic. I think this is a pretty good nerf. I think this is actually going to make it quite balanced after this nerf comes in, and it'll probably be average among the other Evos, or only slightly stronger instead of a top 5 Evo. The Magic Archer, guys, is getting a damage buff. This is an interesting one. It's going from 133 to 143, an 8% increase. This is going to help Magic Archer recover after the Tornado nerf. What they mean by this is decks like the Remy Ellie deck are completely dead. The ones with the Wall Breakers, Magic Archer, Tornado. It's pretty much only good inside of Bridge Spam. with P.E.K.K.A. That's about it. This is a really big buff to the Magic Archer because you have to remember Magic Archer is basically a win condition at the bridge, so you have to think 8% more damage to towers. I think this is definitely going to revive it. I'm very positive just from this buff it's at least going to be an average card again, in my opinion, for sure. The Void, guys, is getting a buff. Obviously, this is well-deserved. It's been one of the worst cards for months. The single target damage is going from 320 to 340. It's a 6% buff. So the single target damage is restored to make Void threatening again, basically. So when it's targeting one thing, it's going to be doing 6% more damage. I don't know how significant this is going to be. This might bump it up a few spots. So instead of it being a bottom 5 card or 8 card, maybe it'll be a bottom 20 or 30. That's my prediction, but I don't see this being average after the buff. It might just make it okay in things like Egolum or Lava. That's my guess. The Freeze guy is getting a damage buff. It's going from 115 to 148. A 29% increase to damage is quite a lot, I have to say. It's going to allow the Freeze to take out Spear Goblins. So I guess they didn't want to buff it too drastically because they wanted to keep the Freeze known for serving the purpose it does. So the damage was the way they wanted to go about it. They didn't want to mess with the duration or anything, which I think is a good idea. And Spear Gobs does change some interactions, but I think overall it's going to be most beneficial for that extra tower chip you're getting. I think that's where it's most going to be noticeable, because if you're using it, I feel like defensively, it's not going to be a whole lot better. Maybe when you're pairing it with things like the Barbarian or other spells, it could be good. Like maybe it'll change some interactions with the Tornado and the Freeze together. So I think, you know, it's going to make it a little stronger, but this definitely won't make it OP, in my opinion. So I think that this is an okay buff because the Vines have still been a lot better than it. The Goblin Demolisher guy is getting a hit speed buff. It's going from 1.2 to... Wait, what? Hit speed old? 1.2 to... Oh, that's... Okay, that's either a bug on my end or when they made it and I copied it. Either way, it's getting a buff. It is getting a hit speed buff. It's probably going to a 1.1. That's my guess. But anyway, more consistent damage output, more threatening presence. This is going to make it a viable option, I suppose, instead of the Bomber or other cards you might see in Drill. So, good buff. It's been a bad card for a long time. So I think, you know, no one would complain with this buff. And the Three Musketeers guys, they call this a bug fix, but technically they are getting a buff. They're getting smarter targeting. So the load time split by 50 milliseconds to avoid wasted shots on skeletons and goblins. So they're not going to accidentally shoot at things too much like skeletons and goblins. This is a buff to Three Musketeers technically, which is kind of crazy to think because they already are a lot better after the rework they got. And then guys, I'll quickly go over the Merge Tactics balance changes. I know not many people play this, but I figured I'd just include it because they're brief. It was only a couple changes, so that's why I included it in the video. So first of all, guys, the Royal King is getting a buff. So losing, instead of granting you 4 elixir, it's going to instead give you 4 to 8. So you're going to be getting more elixir sometimes. That sounds like a really big buff to the Royal King. And then there's going to be adjustments, guys, to the Wizard and the Princess. So basically, the Wizard, guys, is getting a hit speed reduction for, I guess, the different versions of it, because there's multiple versions. And then the attack damage is getting increased. And then the Princess, it's getting a similar type of rework where her attack damage is being decreased by 25%, but her attack speed is being increased by 25%. So I guess they're trying to just do some tweaks and balance it out. Okay, they kind of swap the attacks, the damage and the attack speed for the Princess, and then similar, I guess, for the hit speed of the Wizard and the attack damage. So that's going to be it, guys, for the changes. Let me know what you guys think. If you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to give it a like and subscribe. You can use credit code BOSS to support me in any Supercell game. I feel like the balance changes are okay. I maybe would have liked to see a couple more added to the, you know, Clash Royale balance changes. I think there's a couple more buffs they could have done, but the nerfs look pretty good in my opinion. Thanks again. Until next time, guys.